Good morning. We'll start with a new lesson, Human Eye and Colorful World. So basically, human eye, that is our eye, is one of the most important and a beautiful organ out of 5 sense organs what we have, which enables us to see the things around us. So life becomes very beautiful when we see the things, the colorful things around us. So that's only because of our eye. So in this chapter, we'll be studying about the working and construction of a human eye. What are the defects of human eye, and if in case we have a defect in the human eye, how do we correct them? Which lens do we use for the correction of the defect of the human eye? And in the second part of the lesson, that is colorful world, how are we able to see this colorful world? That's only because of refraction of light. That is, why do sky appear blue? Why do stars twinkle? Why is the color of the sunset and sunrise red in color? Dispersion of light, appearance of rainbow. All these things we'll be studying in the colorful world. So let us understand more about human eye, its figure and the construction. So now let's understand basically the different parts of human eye. So I have mentioned there are so many parts, we need not remember all, only the important things what we have to remember, that is cornea, lens, iris, pupil, optic nerve and retina, right? So let us understand the functions of each of these parts. First, cornea. So cornea is the outermost transparent part of an eye that provides most of the refraction of the light, not reflection, refraction. So you can see here, this is most bulged part here. Yes, that is a cornea, which is a transparent part. You can say that the light which enters inside the eye. So cornea refracts 95% of the light. So the light entering the eye, cornea helps it to refract and send 95% of the light inside, right? The second is iris. Iris is a dark muscular diaphragm that controls the size of the pupil, or we can say it controls the amount of light entering the eye with the help of the pupil. So it is a dark muscular diaphragm that controls the size of the pupil. That is, it controls the amount of light entering the eye with the help of the pupil. Pupil is the window of the eye. So basically what you can see, the black spot here, a black hole type of a thing. Yes. So it is a window of the eye. It is a central aperture of the iris. It regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. Of course, it is iris, but iris does that work by controlling the amount of light entering only with the help of pupil. Next, we have a lens. So it is composed of, so this is a lens here. What you can see, this part is the lens. So what does this lens look like here? It looks like a convex lens. Yes children, our eye has a convex lens. That is why the images what is formed, it focuses, real inverted images formed. So lens is composed of fibrous jelly-like material. Basically, now what lens is being given here, if in case you wear a lens for the power what you have, right? So that lens is also a jelly, or you can say a fibrous or a like transparent material, right? Yes, it is also the same thing. It is composed of fibrous jelly-like material, provides the focused real and inverted image of the object onto the retina. This part what you can see from here and again from here, this maroon color line, dark line what is given here right outside, that is a retina. So what is the main role of the lens here? To focus the light, whatever the light is entering from the cornea, which refracts and send 95% of the light here, the light then controlled by the iris, amount of light entering with the help of pupil. So lens, what it does after entering, it focuses on the retina. Main job of the lens is to focus the light on the retina. Next part, what we have to understand here is optic nerves. Can you see the optic nerves here? Yes. What is the role of optic nerves? It is a bundle of nerve fibers that carries messages from the eyes to the brain. Now the thing, imagine that there is an object here. Suppose there is a question asked to you, how do eyes can capture the images, or how do we see things? Explain. So what do you do here? The image. So the light falls on the cornea, which refracts 95% of the light and sends it inside, which is further controlled by iris. Amount of light entering in the eye is controlled by iris with the help of pupil, falls on the lens further focuses the light to fall on the retina, and hence real inverted image is obtained here. Now real and inverted means the image is inverted, right? But do we see an inverted image? No. Actually children, we do not see through our eyes. We actually see through our brain. That is, what we see through our eyes, the messages are sent through the brain by the optic nerves. In the chapter Control and Coordination, you've studied about this, right? Yes. So it is sent through from the nerves to the brain. So it receives the signal, and again the signal is sent back, and that is how we see things. In the beginning, if you remember about nervous system, when we were discussing, we discussed about how do we see things properly, or if anybody is throwing a ball, how do you catch it? Judge and catch the ball. That's only because you can see. That's because of your optic nerves will send the signal, and they again send back the messages and make the things visible to us. Then we have two more things here. That's just you have to know. That is aqueous humor and vitreous humor. So what is this? It is aqueous humor is a water-like fluid produced by ciliary body. Now what is this ciliary body and ciliary muscles? I'll come to it. So it fills the front of the eye between the lens and the cornea and provides the cornea and the lens with oxygen and nutrients. I think that's more information to know, right? Vitreous humor, the space between the lens and the retina filled with a gel-like thing, which is called as a vitreous humor, right? Then let's go back to retina again here. Now this retina is further more divided, or we can say that this retina has some sensors. Now what are the sensors? Retina has two sensors. One is rods and the other is cones. Now what are the functions of rods and cones? Rods basically senses the amount of light entering our eye. What amount of light has to enter our eye? That rod will do the job, or rod will sense that, right? Then we have another sensor called as cones. Cones detect the color of light entering the eye. So what color of light is entering our eye? What is the wavelength of light which is entering our eye is sensed by a sensors which is present on the retina. So if you have few more information, if I have to tell you that rods are the rod-shaped cells present in the retina of an eye which are sensitive to dim light, right? There are sometimes MCQs or 1 mark questions asked on this. For example, owl has a very large number of rod cells in the retina of its eye. That's only because owl, it helps the owl to see properly in the dim light. That is, they are nocturnal animals. They are very active in the night. Our rod cells are not so active during night because we can't see, right? We are not nocturnal animals. Now cones, as I have told, they are cone-shaped cells present in the retina of an eye which are sensitive to bright light, that is normal light. So cone cells of our retina also respond to colors, right? Next, if you can see here, now this is a point where I have shown the optic nerves, right? And this part a bit dark maroon in color, as well as here one line what you can see, that is retina, I have told you. But did this dark maroon color appear here also near the optic nerve? No, right? There is a gap which is left between this, where optic nerves are entering, and between this part here there is a small space left. That means if there is no retina, there is no image. Now what is retina, children? Basically retina acts as a screen. Now in our light experiment, what did we do? We kept an object, we kept a screen, whatever object was kept, image was formed, right? But if I do not keep any screen at a particular point, how will I get the image formation? That means there is a part in our eye where there is no images formed. Yes, that part of an eye is called as a blind spot. So blind spot is a part where there is no image formation is done. You can just check on Google what are the different activities to check the blind spot. I think one of the activity you have also done in your standard 8th if you remember, right? Otherwise, just Google it and find out what are the different activities to check the blind spot. Everybody has a blind spot. So definition of a blind spot, if I have to tell, is at a junction of an optic nerve and the retina in the eye, there are no light sensitive cells, right? That is, there are no rods and cones here, due to which no vision is possible at this spot, and this is called as a blind spot. So this is basically a human eye or structure and function of a human eye. Another one important part in our eye, that is ciliary muscles. So ciliary muscles are present on the lens, what I can tell here. What do these do? Ciliary muscles helps in changing the shape of the lens. Yes. Now, for example, we have done the ray diagram. So imagine that we have taken one glass lens wherein we tried to increase and decrease the focal length, or we kept an object here. Where was the image formation done? We kept the object nearer to the lens. Where was the image formation done? So at different point, we got the image formation done at the different points, right? So object distance differed, image distance also differed. But in our eye, the lens is fixed. Now, how do we change? How can it change the focal length of the lens? That's only because of the help of the ciliary muscles. They can contract and they can relax, right? That is how the focal length can change depending upon the how far or near object it has to see, which is something called as power of accommodation. Power of accommodation is an ability of an eye lens to adjust its focal length, which is called as accommodation or power of accommodation. Its focal length will get adjusted according to the need, right? Now, if focal length increases, ciliary muscles get relaxed and the lens becomes thin. Focal length decreases, ciliary muscles gets contract. Since it is contracting, the lens becomes thicker. The basic thing what you have to know here. So another one important thing what you have to know here is the far and the near point of a normal human adult. So basically the minimum distance at which we can see the object is 25 centimeter. That means it is not that if I take it near. Now simple, take your book and try reading it, right? I hold it to a particular angle, I can read well. I bring it near, I can read well. I still bring it near, I can read well. But if I take it too closer, the letters, everything appears blurred to me, right? That is the minimum distance at which the object can be seen most distinctively without strain. For normal adult, its value is 25 centimeter. That's because a just born baby cannot even see beyond 5 to 10 centimeter. Do you know that? If you imagine you are standing near the door and the baby is just sleeping in in the cradle and you just try to call the baby, probably the baby even cannot see, right? Because its eyesight is still not developed completely. It gradually develops as it gets older month by month. So basically in a normal adult, the near point is 25 centimeter. Yes children, you take it too close, you can't read anything, right? And the range of a human vision is 25 centimeter to infinity. Now why is this infinity termed? Because see, any far away object we can see, but clearly I might not tell what is it. But still, if it is at a particular distance far off, see, you stand on your terrace and you can see, you can locate far away things, buildings you can locate which is very far, but you can't still tell color, texture, each and every part, but still you can locate. So the normal vision when we talk about is from 25 centimeter to infinity. Now based on this, sometimes we are not able to see near things, or sometimes we are not able to see far away things. That is something, a defect in our eye. So let's understand what are the different defects in human eye and how do we correct them using corrective lenses. So these are the defects of vision: myopia, nearsightedness, or it is also called as short-sightedness; hypermetropia, known as far-sightedness, or also called as long-sightedness; presbyopia and astigmatism. So let's understand this in detail. The first one, myopia, that is nearsightedness or short-sightedness. So now basically what happens here is, a person with myopic eye, what I can tell is, can see near objects clearly, but cannot see distinct, that is far objects he cannot see. Nearby the objects what are there, he can see them very clearly. Anything which is located far, he cannot see. That means what we can assume here is his far point. What is our far point, or what is the far point of a normal adult? What we can see is, near point is 25 centimeter. Far point of a normal eye adult is to infinity. Then what will be the far point of myopic eye person? That will be less than infinity, because he cannot see distinct objects clearly. Why will this happen? It can happen because of the excessive curvature of the eye, that is inability of a lens to elongate, right? Or another reason what I can tell here is elongation of the eyeball. I'll make you understand this once we see the image here. What do you mean by simple? Elongation of the eyeball is your eyeball has become big. Now what made your eyeball to become big? So sometimes it happens due to present situation, what are your day-to-day habits or how, or sometimes it is also by birth, by heredity, a birth defect what you can say here, right? Elongation of the eyeball. Correction. How can we correct a myopic eye? We can correct that by using a concave lens of a appropriate power. What is power? We all have studied that in previous chapter. Now basically look here. What usually should happen when a light ray, that is from an object, when the light ray enters our eye, we are able to see things. That's because the image is formed on the retina. This is retina, what I have given here. This point is, that means this part is a retina where the image is formed. Where was the image supposed to be formed? Here. But where is the image forming? Here. See, it is not the fault of an eye. Our eye was this much only. So, assume that my eye was only this much. But due to elongation of the eyeball has increased its size. So what will that image do? Image is doing its work. Correctly what image will think? This much only has to be the retina point. I have to come and focus here only. But the eyeball has actually increased. How will that image know that where is retina now? According to the method wise, it is coming and falling on it. Got my point? But your eyeball has elongated. That means, that is why do not draw here. That's why your reference I have told. Elongated means it has become big. So your image forming is correct, but it is forming here before the retina, right? So that is why you are not able to see far away things. Now see, point 2 what I have given is far point is less than infinity, right? Image is forming before the retina. Now what should I do for this? I can use a concave lens. Why? Because concave lens can slightly diverge the light rays and then go and focus. See, because our eye is a convex lens. So initially the light rays which are entering into a myopic eye, where a concave lens of appropriate power is used, it will slightly diverge it. Diverging means it has got more space now, right? After diverging, it will go and converge. Where will it go and converge? It will go and converge on the retina. Therefore, a proper image is formed. See here, a corrective lens of a concave lens is used. Light rays entering. So, it will slightly diverge, and after diverging, they go and converge. That is how a person with a myopic eye can see if a corrective power of concave lens is used. Let's see now what is hypometropia, that is far-sightedness or also known as long-sightedness. The next is hypometropia, that is far-sightedness, or it is also known as long-sightedness. So here a person with an hypometropic eye can see far away objects very clearly. Children, it is just an opposite of a myopic eye. Okay, remember myopia very clearly. You will remember hypometropia. So no doubt in that. So here we use concave. So no doubt we use here a convex. So can see far away objects clearly but cannot see near objects clearly. That means his near point is shifted, right? Image is from behind the retina. So there it was formed before retina. It is formed now behind the retina. So near point moves away naturally. Causes: focal length of the eyeball becomes too long. Eyeball becomes too small. Focal length becomes too long and eyeball becomes too short. Now see here. Previous case what happened? We knew that my eye had to focus the image here. Now what has happened? Your eyeball has shrinked. It has become small. So what will the image do? Image is actually focusing at a correct point only. But your eyeball has shrinked. So it's not a fault. So image is forming behind the retina. Not able to see properly. So the corrective measure what we use here is convex. So when we use convex, the light which is entering will actually converge little bit. Will actually make small. Converge, right? And again it enters our lens. Convex lens of appropriate focal length, we use it, right? A power of convex lens of whatever it is we use. That will slightly converge the light rays which is entering. Then it enters our lens. There it further converges, focuses the image on the retina, right? We use that concave because we wanted to diverge it and then to converge it and bring it on the retina. Here we want to, because it is going beyond retina, so we want to pull it back. So we want to first converge it using the convex lens and further it focuses on the retina. So this is for hypometropia. Next we have presbyopia, which is also called as old age hypometropia. So why do we call that as an old age hypometropia? Now see, myopia, hypometropia causes I have told you by what it can happen. Presbyopia happens only in the old age. As casually people start aging, we can get presbyopia, that is old age hypometropia. That means the same thing. A person cannot see far away objects clearly, but a person can see far away objects clearly, but cannot see near object. That means what type of a lens a person has to use in presbyopia? He has to use a convex lens only. That means that this is also hypometropia. Yes, that is also hypometropia called as old age hypometropia after a particular age. But if a person suffers both in presbyopia, the condition is he can suffer both hypometropia and myopia. Okay. So myopia, you know what are the causes? Hypermetropia, you know what are the causes. So in presbyopia, in old age, he will suffer both. So at that point of time, bifocal lens are used. So you all know what are bifocal lenses, right? So there will be one lens at one curvature here. So if this is your lens, what I'll just draw. So it will be two different. This is one pair of lens here which is used. Bifocal, that is what we call. Focal length of this is different and focal length of this is different. This is for near and this is for far. That is how it is used. If in case is suffering presbyopia, suffering from both myopia and hypermetropia. Okay. And the last one, astigmatism. Astigmatism is a defect in the cornea. That is, the person with an astigmatism does not have a cornea bulged much. It is almost flattened, what you can see. See, what basically a cornea does, it will refract maximum light entering our eye. That is, 95% of the light which is entering our eye is refracted through cornea. Then it enters. How it refracts? Because the lens, it is bulged. That is what we discussed in the beginning. But if it is not bulged, right, the light which is entering will not refract only, which is entering our eye. If it will not refract, then how will we see? That means we are not able to see properly. We are able to see a blurred vision. Far, near, whatever. We are able to see a blurred vision here because the light entering our eye is not refracting only properly. How can this be treated? This can be treated by a surgery or by using lens. But usually it can be done by surgery itself. So these are the different defects of vision and how do we correct it. Now basically, where are our eyes placed? They are placed in front of our face. Do you think is that the correct position of our eyes? Could they be placed like how our ears are there? So could our eyes be placed here or at the back or somewhere? No. That is the right place where our eyes are placed because it gives a wider field view. It enhances the ability to detect the faint objects also. Also provides a three-dimensional view. So this is the main, what you can say is a features of our eye. That is why advantages of eyes in front of the face, right? So there we complete human eye. So construction, working, defects of human eye and how do we correct it. So in our next session, we will continue with our colorful world. That is about how are we able to see from our eyes this colorful world, that is about dispersion of light, how rainbow appears, why sky appears blue, why is the color of sunset and sunrise, why is that particular color. We'll discuss that in the next part, our colorful world. Thank you.